Nate's eyes snap open, and he finds himself in a nightmare, dangling upside down from a chain of cargo crates swinging out of the back of a roaring plane, barely keeping his grip. At last, he hauls himself into the plane, gasping for breath. But there's no relief. Suddenly, a red sports car comes crashing loose, sliding straight at him. The impact hurls him back into open sky. As the ground rushes toward him, death feels inevitable, until a hand seizes his at the final, desperate moment. 15 years earlier, a young Nate and his brother Sam slip into a quiet museum in Boston under the cover of night. Nate nearly tumbles out of a high window, but Sam's quick grip saves him just in time. The two orphans aren't there for mischief. They're chasing history. Their eyes are set on an ancient map, a relic tied to Magellan's legendary expedition. With that map, they believe they can uncover a treasure lost for centuries. But just as Sam reaches for it, trouble is waiting. But the plan goes wrong. As Sam fiddles with the lock, an alarm screams through the museum, and the brothers are quickly cornered by the police. Dragged back to the orphanage, Nate is told he'll be allowed to stay, but for Sam, it's the end of the line. With this being his third offense, prison awaits him. The brothers are granted one last moment together. Sam, knowing he can't let himself be caged, seizes the chance to slip away into the night. Before vanishing, he presses his most cherished possession into Nate's hand, an old ring, a symbol of their bond. He promises his little brother that one day he'll come back for him. Sam disappears into the night, leaving Nate behind with nothing but a ring and a promise that one day he'll return. Alone and heartbroken, Nate later discovers an empty sheet of paper and his brother's old lighter. When he flicks it on, hidden words glow into view, Sam's secret message of love and hope. Fast forward to the present. Nate is no longer a boy chasing adventures. He's now a bartender in New York City, but his mischievous side hasn't gone anywhere. While serving wealthy clients, he uses clever tricks to slip jewelry and valuables right off them. One moment, he's charming a stranger by lighting her cigarette. The next, her bracelet is already in his pocket. While closing the bar late at night, Nate absent-mindedly plays with his brother's old lighter, a broken relic he refuses to let go of. Suddenly, a stranger steps out of the shadows. His name is Sully, and he seems to know far too much about Nate, even complimenting his flawless pickpocketing skills. With a sly smile, Sully offers Nate a chance to join him on a dangerous job, one that promises secrets and fortune. But Nate doesn't trust strangers, especially ones who appear from nowhere. He throws Sully out, unaware that this man holds the key to the men. Mystery that will soon consume his life. Nate realizes too late that Sully has stolen the bracelet, leaving only a card behind. Determined to take it back, he follows the address and breaks into the apartment after slipping the keys from the doorman. But the moment he steps inside, he finds Sully waiting as if he had predicted every move. Then comes the real shock. Sully reveals the original Magellan's map, the one said to hold the secrets of a treasure that could change history forever. Nate listens, stunned, as Sully confirms the legends are real. The original voyage was meant to find gold. Funded by the powerful Moncada family, the treasure is still being hunted by the current heirs, Armando and his son Santiago. To sway Nate, Sully drops a bomb. He was once a friend of Sam's. He even shows Nate a photo of Sam, grown up. But then comes the twist. Sam vanished after they uncovered Magellan's journal. He hasn't heard a word from Sam since. Nate nods. This sounds like his brother, who's been out of touch just as long. Sully leans in, suggesting that chasing the gold might lead Nate straight to Sam. But Nate shakes his head, insisting the brother he once knew is gone. Later, back in his apartment, Nate opens a cherished box filled with memories, postcards from Sam, little tokens of the past he's never let go of. Among the postcards from Sam, Nate's secret lies. He had told Sully his brother never reached out, but here's the proof he had been contacted all along. His fingers brush over the familiar ring, sliding it back onto his hand, a silent promise reignited. With resolve, Nate agrees to join the hunt. He meets Sully to strategize their first move. An upcoming auction holds a prized antique, a cross that's no mere decoration, but a key to the hidden chamber where the treasure waits. The legend whispers of two keys, and Sully already holds one. To unlock the treasure, they must claim the second. Insisting on a fair split of the gold, Nate studies the auction building with meticulous care, devising a daring plan. When the night of the auction arrives, the tension spikes. A gleaming red car signals the presence of Santiago, a rival who will stop at nothing to seize the treasure for himself. The stakes are high. Santiago believes the gold is his birthright, and he's not coming alone. By his side is Joe, a ruthless mercenary leader and Sully's former partner, who smirks at the sight of him. As the auction looms, Sully blends in as just another bidder, while Nate prepares their daring scheme. But Joe's sharp eyes catch Nate's every move, and she dispatches her men to watch him closely. Joe's men are hot on Nate's trail, but he improvises. Sticking gum on the digital lock, he sneaks into the electrical room. The plan? Cut the power and let Sully swipe the cross under the cover of darkness. Time drags, and Nate lingers too long, forcing Sully's hand. He must bid against Santiago, even if his pockets are empty, but luck is about to test them both. Nate is found by Joe's men, and a fight begins. After After exchanging a few blows, Nate runs out of the room and decides to cause a distraction by jumping on the hall's ceiling lamps. Now everyone is panicking and the cross is being taken away, so Sully turns his jacket around and pretends to be one of the workers. As Nate is found and chased by security, Sully puts his hands on the cross and takes it away, saying he's in charge of taking it to the vault, but Joe notices this and goes after him. She manages to corner him and threaten him with her knife, but at that moment, security finds them and tries to arrest her for attacking an auction employee. Sully gets to go away with the cross while Joe fights the guards. When Sully makes it back to his car, Nate is waiting for him, and they agree to go to Spain together. On the plane, Nate gets to look at the captain's journal that confirms the legend. Magellan found tons of gold in the Philippines, hid it in Barcelona, and then told the Moncada family that he found nothing. Following the clues in the journal, they'll be able to find the gold, although so far, the main clue is just a tree. Once they arrive in Barcelona, they meet with Chloe, another treasure hunter that has managed to acquire the other cross. However, she doesn't want to work with Sully, who she considers to be a liar and a backstabber. After she leaves, Nate discovers she took their cross with her and chases her through the streets of Barcelona. Chloe is faster, though, and she makes it to her car, ready to escape. Nate and Sully don't give up and convince her to stay by pointing out she may have the crosses, but they have the journal, so they're the only ones that know where to go next. Now they're all working together. Nate takes them to the place indicated by the clue. It's not an actual tree. It refers to a church that has pine as part of the name and a tree as its logo. Meanwhile, Santiago confronts his father, Armando, who has made headlines announcing he'll give away his fortune, confessing that their wealth is tainted with blood. Frustrated and unable to sway him, Santiago storms off to find Joe, instructing her to keep a close watch on Sully, who's been spotted around town. Back with Nate, Sully, and Chloe, the team takes a brief pause, catching their breath before diving back into the adventure, before moving on to the next daring step of their plan. While Nate is busy in the kitchen, Chloe corners Sully, revealing that she has guessed Nate is Sam's brother and demanding he finally tell Nate the truth about what happened. Sully, however, insists he'll reveal everything at the right moment. The next day, Santiago once again attempts to persuade his father to reconsider giving away the fortune, but when Armando refuses, Santiago tails him, determined to take matters into his own hands, him to his car, and commands Joe to eliminate him. As night falls, the team sneaks into the church, posing as unsuspecting tourists. Nate's eyes widen in shock when he notices that the postcards sold there bear the same markings as one of Sam's. Guided by cryptic symbols and words etched into the floors and walls, the trio discovers a concealed button, which Nate presses, revealing a hidden painting tucked behind a statue of Mary. As he carefully turns the painting around, the next secret begins to unfold. As the painting swings open, it reveals a chilling depiction of hell. The altar behind it slides away, exposing the keyholes meant for the crosses. Nate and Chloe insert the keys, turning them clockwise, but immediately a flurry of deadly darts shoots out, narrowly missing them. Heart-pounding, they dodge just in time and try the clockwise rotation again, finally unlocking a hidden tunnel. According to the journal, one must remain up in heaven while the other ventures down in hell, setting the stage for a perilous descent. Nate and Chloe descend into the shadowy tunnel, one cross in hand, while Sully remains outside, clutching the other. To keep him in the loop, Nate discreetly slips a tracker onto Sully's phone, allowing him to follow their movements, unaware that Joe has secretly tailed him as well. The tunnel twists and turns mysteriously, eventually spitting them out into the pulsating chaos of a nightclub, where Joe's men are already lurking, watching their every move. Blending into the crowd, Nate and Chloe pose as a dancing couple, weaving through the throngs until they reach the bar. Nate fumbles with Sam's stubborn lighter, sparks failing to ignite, but Chloe quickly takes over, lighting the fire and creating the perfect distraction. With the chaos swirling around them, they turn their attention to the intricate puzzle etched into the wall behind the bar. But just as they begin, Joe's men spot them, forcing Nate into a tense, adrenaline-fueled fight, while Chloe hunts desperately for the next clue. Chloe finds another keyhole, and with a turn of the cross, unlocks it. A hidden tunnel swings open before them, allowing the duo to slip away just as it it seals shut, leaving Joe's men trapped behind. The tunnel leads them to a secret door beneath a fountain. As they insert the key, water starts surging into the room, threatening to drown them. Outside, Sully springs into action, using his cross on a hole above ground to rescue them from the rising flood. But the keyhole is shielded behind thick, protective glass. As Sully starts working to break through, Joe appears, aiming to snatch the cross, and a fierce fight erupts. Initially, Joe seems to have the advantage, but with one swift move, Sully flips the odds, hurling Joe against the glass and shattering it. Seizing the moment, Sully places the cross into the keyhole, unlocking the secret door and giving the duo their chance to escape. But only Nate emerges at first. Spotting Chloe unconscious underwater, he dives back in to rescue her. Once both are safe, Chloe is stunned. She expected betrayal, not help. The door leads them into a Roman antechamber, dim and ancient. Nate's lighter fails again, so Chloe lights a torch, casting flickering shadows across the underground chamber. From above, Sully watches them through a drainage grill, tracking their every move. The street. Amid the shadows, Sully spots a symbol carved into a rock. Both keys must be used together to unlock the next door. Thinking quickly, he tosses his key through the grill, letting it land safely near Nate and Chloe. Nate aligns the crosses, unlocking another enigmatic door that leads them into a Roman storehouse. Inside, 3 massive urns dominate the room, and for a heartbeat, the team believes they've finally stumbled upon the treasure they've been chasing, gold. But their hopes crash as they discover the urns are filled with nothing but salt. As they sift through the remnants, the urns suddenly shatter, revealing a hidden map nestled among the grains. Nate studies it, noting a route stretching from Spain to the East Indies. Before he can even propose a plan, Chloe draws her gun, her eyes sharp, and demands he hand over the map. Nate attempts to negotiate, but Chloe cuts him off, insisting he doesn't yet understand the full story. Nate is knocked out by Chloe, who escapes with the map, leaving him in darkness. Moments later, Sully rouses him awake, and Nate, eyes blazing with frustration, demands the truth. Sully solemnly reveals that Sam didn't abandon him. He's gone. Together, they had reached the captain's tomb and uncovered the journal. But as they tried to leave, Joe and her men ambushed them. In the chaos, Sam was shot, leaving his fate uncertain. Nate's blood boils as he realizes Sully escaped, abandoning Sam to die. The harsh truth hits him. The only reason Sully recruited Nate was that Sam might have revealed some of the missing clues to locate the gold. Furious, Nate lashes out, calling Sully greedy and selfish, and abruptly severs their partnership, storming away. Later, Sully tracks him down, attempting to lure him back. Nate hesitates, but ultimately agrees, driven not by loyalty to Sully, but by a burning determination to finish what Sam started. Nate pores over Sam's postcards, each one reigniting his resolve, and finally decides he will see through his brother's mission to the very end. Meanwhile, Joe rushes to report the recent events to Santiago, only to find that Chloe has already joined his ranks. With Chloe proving more competent, she's now appointed to lead the operation, a move that stirs Joe's frustration and jealousy. Back at Santiago's private airport, he and his team prepare meticulously, making ready every detail, including his prized red car. Nate and Sully seize the opportunity, slipping into Santiago's private plane by hiding inside the trunk of his prized red car. As they study the map and plan their next move, Santiago begins a fiery speech about his family's betrayal and his vow to restore their honor. But before he can finish, Joe brutally interrupts, ending his life. Chaos erupts as Chloe panics and attempts to flee, while Joe and her men give chase. Seizing the moment, Nate and Sully sneak through the chaos and reclaim the precious map. Their next move, grab parachutes and make a daring jump from the plane. But in the cargo hold, Nate can't resist confronting Joe, demanding to know if she truly killed Sam. As Sully leaps to safety with a parachute, Nate is left grappling with Joe's men, all while the cargo is hurled out of the plane into the open sky, plunging them into a deadly freefall. Yet Chloe surprises everyone. Instead of abandoning him, she grabs Nate's hand, pulling him onto one of the falling cargo boxes. With quick thinking, she deploys its parachute, giving them both a fighting chance. As they descend safely into the open sea, deciphers that the map doesn't mark the exact location of the treasure. Piece by piece, using the subtle hints hidden in Sam's postcards, Nate begins to unravel the secret trail left behind by his brother, the path that will finally lead them to the legendary gold. Still won't work. Nate lights a candle and carefully uses it to reveal a hidden message on one of Sam's postcards. The faint markings guide him. The crosses aren't just keys, they're a compass. Heart pounding, Nate finally deciphers the last clue, uncovering the exact location of the long-lost treasure. Chloe quickly shows Nate the paper, and and they realize they need to move fast. Joe and her men are already on the hunt. Heart racing, the trio gathers their gear and races toward the hidden spot, knowing that every second counts if they want to claim the treasure before their rivals do. Deeper, following the faint markings Sam left behind. The water is cold and dark, but Nate pushes forward, knowing that each stroke brings him closer to the treasure and to the truth about his brother. Hidden chambers reveal themselves slowly as he navigates the winding underwater passages, until finally he surfaces in a massive cavern filled with golden light, reflecting off piles of glittering coins and ancient artifacts. Every step echoes in the hollow space, reminding him of the stakes. He's not just chasing gold, he's completing Sam's unfinished journey. Alcove carved into the rock. From their hiding spot, Nate and Sully watch as Joe's men comb the cave, their footsteps echoing ominously. The tension is thick. One wrong move could reveal them and ruin everything. Nate spots a narrow crevice leading deeper into the cavern and whispers to Sully that they can use it to flank their attackers. With careful, silent movements, they inch closer, ready to strike and protect the treasure, and finally face Joe once and for all. Attached to the ships, while Nate fights off anyone still trying to get to the treasure. Sparks fly as swords clash, and the sound of metal against metal echoes through the cavern. With each coordinated move, they slowly gain the upper hand. Nate grabs a rope swinging from above, using it to knock down another attacker, while Sully secures the last gold chests and ensures the ships stay stable. The adrenaline is at its peak. They're moments away from taking control of the treasure and escaping Joe's relentless pursuit. Nate quickly formulates a plan. He mixes the gunpowder with the gold chests to create a makeshift explosive trap. As Joe's men continue their assault, he lights the fuse, forcing them to scatter in panic. The explosions rock the ship, sending debris flying, while Nate uses the chaos to take full control. He fires strategically at the remaining attackers, clearing a path for Sully, who maneuvers the helicopter with precision, evading Joe's attempts to ram them. The tension peaks as both teams fight desperately for the treasure, the cavern echoing with shouts, gunfire, and the roar of the ship's engines, and lights it just in time. The cannon fires, hitting Joe's ship and causing a massive explosion that sends her crew flying into the air. Shrapnel rains down as Joe narrowly escapes, but her ship is badly damaged and slows down. Nate and Sully seize the moment, accelerating through the cliff's narrow passage with heart-pounding precision, the roar of the helicopter blending with the chaos behind them. Every second counts as they cling to the treasure and each other, adrenaline pushing them forward, and the tension skyrockets. Nate and Sully scramble across the deck, dodging ropes and swinging chains as Joe fights them relentlessly. The ship groans under the strain, wood cracking and water splashing over the sides. With every second, the anchor pulls them closer to disaster, threatening to drag them into the rocky cliffs below. Nate spots the gunpowder stash and quickly devises a desperate plan, knowing this might be their only chance to survive and finally escape with the treasure, sending a massive splash into the turbulent sea below. Nate catches his breath in the helicopter, adrenaline still pumping, while Sully steadies the controls. From above, they watch the wrecked ship settle, knowing Joe is finally defeated. The sun glints off the gold scattered across the deck, a silent reminder of the perilous adventure they've survived and the treasure they've earned together. Time to savor their victory. Nate, still catching his breath, watches the sun glint off the waves, realizing that while the gold may be lost to the authorities, the adventure and the bond with Sully was worth far more. The thrill of the chase, the close calls, and the secrets uncovered remind him that this is only the beginning of a life filled with treasure, danger, and discovery. Steer Nate into another adventure, hinting at even greater treasures and darker dangers ahead. Nate, smirking at the prospect, realizes that his life has truly changed.